Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Monday, August 12th, 2024. I, of course, am with Originator Success here with your daily mortgage rate update, the only place on the web where you get to join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, as I broadcast to you on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live, letting you know what's going on with rates and pricing and the markets. So if you're here live, say good morning. If you're watching on the replay, don't forget to give me a hashtag replay in the comments. You can also jump ahead and skip the intro if you like. Don't forget to smash that like button, tag another friend, share us in a group. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and give us a thumbs up on that little thumbs up thing. Make sure you are subscribed, all that good stuff. Remember, if you would like to sign up and get a free email to your inbox each and every weekday morning with the abridged version of kind of what we talk about here, you can get that at www.ratelockadvice.com, or you can use this cool QR code over here. You could also sign up for our text alerts. We send out a text message every morning, a wrap up every afternoon, and then alerts when there is risk of reprices, whether worse or even better. If things are better, I want to make sure I warn you so you don't lock anything, but generally it's reprices worse that we protect you from. You can check those out at ratetextalerts.com. You can also get a reminder by text absolutely free every morning that I am going live. If you'd like to do that, you can check us out at hmmr.io/reminder, or use this other cool QR code. And last but not least, although I love talking about rates and pricing each and every weekday morning, what we do at Originator Success is help you to get business. If you are looking to build your online brand, you want to have a better presence, you want a kick-ass website that actually gets business, you want to be found on Google, you want some social posting, you want review management, generating reviews, getting Google reviews, staying in front of agents, a light CRM that you don't have to babysit, that you don't have to, take a 7-hour course to set up, but yet keeps you in front of past clients when we go into this new rate environment and refi opportunities are here, keeps you in front of real estate agents. Check us out at originatorssuccess.com. For a few $100 a month, we have a platform that does all of that for you. And the reason that we do all of that is because when you do all of that together the right way, it turns into business. And that's what we do for you. And it's all turnkey. So check us out at originatorssuccess.com. Set up a demo with Austin, and he'll show you how we can help you to get loans from Google and social media. All right. Happy Monday morning, everybody. Let's say hi to the live folks. Who do we got here this morning? First one on was Mallory Fotiadis. Good morning, Mallory. Thank you for so consistently joining me. It's wonderful to have you. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Mr. Ron Siegel. He said today is National Julian Fries Days. I always like Julianne Hough. Never met Julian Fries. But they do come up with some wacky days, don't they? Today is it's Inflation Data Week Day is what we got here going on. Good morning, Mr. Randy Teakle. Giddy up, sir. Great to have you here, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me. Megan Lindberg, great to have you. Almer, great to have you. Mike Schmolgen, Dan Crowley, sir. Hope things are progressing in your world. I didn't realize what a natural catastrophe was out that way, and I am so sorry to hear about the material objects that were lost. Not minimizing it at all. It is rough to deal with all that stuff, but you have an amazing attitude. Glad to see that, my friend. Jonathan Steele, good morning, sir, in Florida. Melanie Troutman, hey, haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Deb Dickinson, good morning. John Jones, Kirk Evans, Mike Morano, great to have you here. Bobby Searson, hello, and thank you for coming. Sean Segaloff, football is back. You mean good morning? Is football back? I haven't seen you. When does the game start? Not for another couple weeks, right? Angela Walters, good morning. Alexandria Villanova, good morning. Michael Love, great to see you, sir. Thank you for joining. Amy Blauser, Carrie Early, Rob Stewart, Chris Burleson, great to have all of you here. Thomas Wolf, good morning. Okay, let's get into the other stuff, my friends. Let's talk about what we got going on. So rate sheets this morning should be basically flat today. Not much of a difference. Mortgage-backed securities down a few basis points right now. I'll show you those in a minute, but basically you're going to see mortgage, rate sheets are going to be basically flat on the day, maybe a smidge worse for some. The good news is bonds, rate sheets, we've kind of found a floor after overdoing it heading into last week, then losing ground last week. Things have kind of settled out. The funny thing is we're going to get the inflation data later this week, though, and that will probably shake things up again. And then we've got the reprice risk on the day is low. It's very unlikely that we have to worry about seeing reprice risk. We did have a bond rollover this morning. It was just a few basis points, nothing even to worry about. It doesn't affect pricing anyway, but it's not even really thrown off the numbers. So we don't have to worry about that. Reprice risk on the day is low. Tomorrow morning, we get the wholesale inflation data, and that is going to play a small role in pricing in the morning. So if it shows, inflation cooling, that's really great. It'll help pricing start a little bit positive tomorrow morning. If it shows inflation is heating up for whatever reason, that would kind of give us a little bit of a worse pricing to start the day, but it's not going to be any big moves. All right. So keep that in mind. Tomorrow morning, we get the wholesale producer price index inflation numbers. The big data, though, of course, the consumer inflation, the CPI, and that's going to come in on Wednesday. Now, let's go ahead and take a look and go over some of this stuff together. So hold on a minute here. Let me go to the shared screen, and let's go ahead and click this open. All right. So looking here, mortgage-backed securities right now at the moment down about 5 basis points to start the day. But you can see here that they've flattened out. They've leveled off here. Again, we had a very, very wonderful uptick when these green candlesticks move higher, when mortgage-backed securities are selling for more. That improves your rate sheets, improves your pricing. However, on Monday, we opened the day with huge gains and almost instantly lost ground on those and dropped back down. And then kind of lost ground Tuesday, settled in on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, really showing some flattening. This morning, things have flattened out, and that's good. It means that we're not going to see mortgage bonds continue to drop down to previous ranges, which would have brought rate sheets up. 10-year Treasury yield, 3.96, still staying below 4. That is amazing. And I'm going to take a screenshot of that, my friend. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that so much. Y'all, hold on. Let me pop to this. I know that he kind of caught me off guard here with the testimonial, Mr. Dan Crowley. This is awesome. Just want to go ahead and here, I'm going to put today's date up here so that because people are always looking for fresh testimonials, and I appreciate that. So bear with me a minute, y'all, but I'm just going to take a screenshot of this. But in the meantime, like I said, good morning, Mr. J. Rodriguez. Great to have you here as well. There we go. All right, let me just take a quick screenshot here. Boom. Okay. Got that. Thank you, my friends. So anyway, as we take a look here, go back to what's up on the charts here. 10-year Treasury yield staying below 4, which is wonderful. I love that we're, tested and fall back below 4. That's a very good sign that things aren't going to worsen. Now, what do we got going on this week? We have a few different things going on. Let's go ahead and kind of go through some of these headlines together. So first thing, let's go over the doves and the hawks, right? U.S. central bankers have kept their target for short-term borrowing costs in the 5.25 to 5.5 range. So we call that 5.25. We always go to the bottom number, right? Since last July. So it's been over a year that we've been at that level. Here are your different dovish and kind of centrist and hawkish members. So you've got Adriana Kugler. She is a governor. She tends to be more dovish. Powell, John Williams, Philip Jefferson, Michael Barr, Chris Waller, Lisa Cook, Mary Daly. Daly tends to be a little more dovish sometimes. Susan Collins, Goolsbee, Patrick Harker, all kind of in that centrist camp. Then you've got Bostic, Barkin, Schmidt, Musalem, Kashkari, Logan over here, and then Michelle Bowman, who is all the way into the most hawkish. Now, it's kind of funny. Michelle Bowman, and I'm not picking on someone who's not a economist, because I'm not an economist, but yet I feel like I have a pretty good handle on what's going on with this stuff as well. So, but Michelle Bowman is an attorney, and she actually is on the Fed as part of the banking area. I forgot what the seat was. But I always laugh because like she'll come out and say stuff. Even she got slightly dovish the other day, but she is just like a pure hawk. It's never good enough for her. kind of funny to see just how hawkish she really is. But this is kind of an interesting take on that. But taking a look at what we got going on, we'll take a look here this morning. Couple of things when we look at the 5 things to start your day, and then I'll wrap up pretty soon. So first things first, markets have calmed down a little bit last week. Bonds were crazy, but stocks were, of course, even worse. Inflation watch, the U.S. Consumer Price Index expected to have risen modestly in June. They're looking at 0.2%. Let's see if I have the right article here. Let's see. I think it's this one. All right. So the expectation is that we're going to see slightly higher CPI data than we saw last month. Now, remember, last month's data came in slightly better than expected, really pushed us off to see rates improve. We could see that happen again, especially with expectations being a little bit higher. So right now, Consumer Price Index on Wednesday is expected to have risen 0.2% from June for both the headline figure and the core. The core is without food and energy. Takes food and energy costs out. Why? Because food and energy are considered to be volatile, like gas prices. They go up and down. Not something that the Fed can necessarily control and affect, like it's affected by oil and things like that. So that's why they take them out when they look at the core. Each would be an acceleration from June. The annual metrics should continue to rise at some of the slowest paces seen since early 2021. And that's kind of what is important. But remember, right now, the recent easing of price pressures has bolstered Fed officials' confidence they can start to lower borrowing costs while refocusing their attention on the labor market. The last Fed meeting made it clear that the Fed is now looking back at the labor market, at the labor data, which is kind of a good sign because there's a little less attention if this did come in slightly hot. Now, when we take a look at, rates, 6.54 is where we ended on Friday, which improved quite a bit from the 6.63 peak. We were at about 6.5. And before we were at 6 3/8. 6 7/8, 6 3/4. We pushed back down to about 6.5. I told you we would see a 1/4 point to 3/8 of a point in improvement in rates after that labor report. And we saw an overreaction, which rates really dipped all the way down to about 6 3/8 here. And then they bounced back a little bit. And I said, don't panic when they were bouncing back. We've kind of leveled out. So Friday, we saw a little bit of improvement to pricing after Thursday, seeing things worsen. So thankfully, we've kind of leveled back out again. And that's where things should stay again. That puts us in that same spot that we've been at for so much. Let me go ahead and just delete this line here. Nope, that's too much. Hold on a second. Again, thank you, Dan, for your testimonial, sir. Number one, love the fact that you got those results. First and foremost, that's what we do this for, believe it or not. And number two, really appreciate you sharing that and saying that. So lock advice is cautiously float anything closing in the next couple weeks. Only the most risk-averse loans should lock if you've got tight ratios, things like that, of course. But we want to try to float into Wednesday's data and see if we get a positive reaction from that inflation data. There's a really good chance that we could have a nice bounce. Now, when we take a look here at Fed futures, we take a look at the September numbers. We're almost neck and neck, but we actually have the winner, just like at the Olympics, like when they stick their chest out, because it's not their foot or their head, by the way, that can win the race. It's not when one part of their body goes over. It has to be their chest. And that's to account for runners with longer legs and longer arms, because if they were neck and neck, the longer armed person or the longer legged person would reach across and would win. And they actually go with their torsos. Now, I did not know that until this Olympics. Did you know that? That is how they judge that. So anyway, neck and neck, but we are just barely edging out here. That markets, Fed futures, probabilities, one rate cut for a 1/4 point in September, no emergency cuts, which I told you that was outlandish. Now, Siegel says he still thinks we're going to get those 2 cuts. And I agree that the door is open for these, but it's going to depend on the September 6th jobs data. If we either see really awesome inflation this week, unexpectedly low, that would help open that door. But mainly it's going to be the jobs data on September 6th. If we get another report showing high unemployment, even if unemployment were to go up again, then I could see that there would be a door for that 4.5, something that would panic the Fed. Otherwise, I think they're really going to go in there with the quarter point. What markets are pricing in by the end of the year is currently a full point in cuts. So, it could be a half in September, a quarter, could be a quarter, a half, a quarter. It could be a quarter, half, because we've got 3 meetings between now and the end of the year. Markets believe in those 3 meetings are going to be down a total of about a point. By November, they think that it will be, again, 3/4 of a point. So might be a half a point and then a quarter, or a quarter point and then a half. But markets thinking that that's going to be there. That's, again, just a lot of speculation. But that's what's keeping things level. Oh, look at this. We were down 5 basis points. Now we're up 6. Guess what that does for your rate sheets? Not much. It'll be a small difference. But again, it puts us pretty much flat on the day as Friday. Things should stay pretty much level at where they're at. So good morning, John Melnick, Ivan Lanz, buongiorno, my friend, Alan Christian. Good morning, sir. Did you get out there on that new bike? Did you take delivery of that new bike? I saw a bunch of riders on the Blue Ridge Parkway with those. It's a GS, is it 1200, right? It's GS 1200 trophy that I saw you standing next to with a picture. Ron Siegel Bowman, that's the job of an attorney. Yeah, she's always negative. She's probably part of one of the class action lawsuits that took out the real estate agents. Boo, hiss. So anyway, that's another conversation. So, all right, y'all, I'm going to wrap it up. That's kind of where we're at today. Again, should be a really quiet day. Tomorrow, we're going to get the wholesale inflation data. Should be a little bit of room for improvement. Wednesday, I think we're going to see better inflation data, and I think that is going to help us. Again, we're not going to see rates get amazingly better, but it's going to keep stepping and improving. And a lot of LOs throwing shade at people out there on social talking about rates dropping. Guys, don't do that. Don't miss out. Like, we've created opportunities for our originators. We've had people tell us that they've gotten loans because of our posts about rates going down. That's, you got to put it out there. Don't be afraid of this stuff. So anyway, we'll talk more about that later. You guys have a fantastic Monday. Make it effective, make it efficient. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay, my friends? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.